Welcome back everyone. In this video we are going to continue what we started in the previous video. This is chapter number 6 from the math textbook of NCERT of grade 6. Now largely a lot of schools follow this curriculum. Sometimes even the state boards. There are some of the states, I think in the state of Gujarat now they have streamlined it. Like there is no such thing as the Gujarat State Board. Earlier there used to be. Now there still is a Gujarat State Board, but largely they follow the NCERT syllabus. So their textbooks might mention that they are the state board or state education board textbooks, but their syllabus is largely aligned with whatever is there in the NCERT textbooks. So we are focusing on chapter number 6, that is area, perimeter and area. Now in the earlier video, we had discussed a lot about perimeter. So if you are yet to see that video, you can look into the previous video in the same playlist. There are other playlists on my YouTube channel as well, but if you are a student and if you are looking to learn, I would urge you to go to the playlist section and look at the names of the playlist. If you are interested in learning English, I have made multiple videos about English. If you are an IELTS student, I have made videos about IELTS. If you are somebody who is interested in philosophy, there is also one playlist about philosophy as well. For those of you who do not know, after my graduation, I spent almost 3 years of my life preparing for civil services, just like every other middle class boy does in our country. So in those 3 years, philosophy was my optional in the mains UPSC examination. So pertaining to that, I had studied a lot of philosophy. So that is how my interest in philosophy started, and I have documented some of my learnings in that playlist. But coming back to the topic of this video, today we are going to study about area. All right, now this is the textbook over here. If you see here, they're talking about let me just properly, there are a lot of wires where I'm sitting. I need to properly organize my desk, but fine, we'll focus on area right now. Now there are two shapes given over here in the textbook, that is square and rectangle. Area is basically the area enclosed. What we learned in perimeter was simply the addition of all the sides. So if there is a square and if you are to walk, okay, and come back to the place where you started by walking along the boundaries of that square, the perimeter will be the distance covered. Area, however, is a two-dimensional quantity. If you see, the area is written as meter square or centimeter square, depending on the unit of measurement that you use to measure the dimensions. All right, area is basically the area enclosed inside, if it is a square or if it is a rectangle. So inside this, the amount of area that is enclosed inside the boundaries is termed as area. It is given in meter square. Now from where does this, why am I stressing upon these units, that is meter square and centimeter square? All right, let me just pull this aside, and yes, I'll need a clear screen for this. Okay, we'll not go too far away because we'll have to use that as well. All right, now the theory or the explanation behind meter square and centimeter square. Now the square over here indicates the dimensions. That is, if I multiply meter into meter, it gives me meter square. This is simple algebra. This follows from your learning from algebra or polynomials, that when you multiply two variables, x multiplied by x, what does it give you? X square. Okay, so we call this a polynomial of degree 2. All right, similarly, centimeter multiplied by centimeter gives you centimeter square. So whenever you see something that has meter square or centimeter square, what is the underlying message? That there were two quantities. Both of those quantities had measurement in meter, and both of those quantities have been multiplied to reach this point. Let me demonstrate this point. If I multiply 2 meter multiplied by 2 meter, what does that give you? 4 meters square. Getting it? So meter is also multiplied, unit is also multiplied along with the constant. If I simply just replace, there is this chapter of polynomials, I think in grade 7 or grade 8, but for right now you can understand it this way. For example, if this was 2x multiplied by 2x, what would that give you? 4x square. Same is with the area. Okay, there is no rocket science involved in this concept. For example, if you let us just dive straight into the formula. Okay, we'll look at, let's say this is a square. All right, now in the previous videos we have obviously established that in the square all sides are equal. Okay, so if this is, let's say, 2 meter, this is 2 meter, this is 2 meter, and this is 2 meter. What would be the perimeter? Simply just, this is perimeter, we have not gone to the area. What would be the perimeter? Perimeter is basically you add all the sides, that is 2 meters plus 2 meters added all the sides, that is 2 plus 2 4 plus 2 6 plus 2 8, but I will not write meter square, I'll simply just write meters. It follows from the same logic of polynomials. If I add x plus x plus x plus x, this will only give me 4x. This will not give me 4x to the power 4, because when you add the variables, you do not add the powers. Okay, so this is just 4x. So by the same logic, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, all of them are in meter. That gives you 8 meter and not 8 meter to the power 4. Now let us come to the area side. This was the perimeter. Now the same square, if I ask you to calculate the area, now what would that mean philosophically? If you calculate the area of this square, it means what is the total spread of the area inside the boundaries of a square whose side is 2 meters. Alright, so if I had to calculate the area of this square, what is the formula? That is length multiplied by length, that gives you length square. If you are comfortable remembering it like this, please do that. If you are comfortable remembering it like this, please do that as well, because as long as you are able to recall the correct formula, I am okay with it. Now let us look at the numerical value. Now if I calculate the area of this square, what would be it? L square, that is 2 meter multiplied by 2 meter. What should that give you? That is 2 2s are 4, meter multiplied by meter gives you meter square. So far so good. All right, let us go to rectangle. Rectangle, it also uses the same logic. If you're not comfortable with the pace with which I'm teaching, you can always pause the video, take a minute or two to let that concept sink in. Okay, imagine a different scenarios inside your head, try to calculate few areas, and that should be it. All right, let's focus on rectangle. Rectangle is the same as square, but it has only two sides are equal. That is, only the opposite sides are equal. If this is length, this is length, this is breadth, this is breadth. So if this is 5, this will be 5. If this is 2, this will be 2 as well. So just a brief recap of the previous video. If I had to calculate the perimeter of rectangle, what would I do? I will simply just add all the sides. That will be 5 meter. Okay, by the way, this is meter, this is meter, this is meter, and this is meter as well. So 5 plus 2 meter plus 5 meter plus 2 meter. So far so good. Okay, so this should give you 5 plus 2 7, okay, 14 meter. Notice the unit. When you are adding up all of them, there is no power over here. This is not 0, so there is no power over here. Perimeter will simply be in meters. All you have done is simply added all the sides. But when you come to the area, okay, this is a rectangle. The same rectangle, this is 5 meters, this is 5 meters, this is 2 meters, and this is 2 meters. Now if I must calculate the area of this rectangle, I will calculate area enclosed. Alright, now to calculate this, the formula is Very simple, length into breadth. This is for rectangle. What is the length? That is 5 meter. What is the breadth? That is 2 meter. I'll simply just multiply. That is 5 2s are 10. But meter will also be multiplied with meter. So meter into meter gives you meter square. I think this will make more sense to you if you have a small lesson about polynomials. Okay, in polynomials or in algebra, polynomials are basically the gateway to algebra. They should have kept polynomials in this grade for you to understand these units better. In the higher grades, when you study physics and when you are asked to remember the units, okay, Newton meters and Newton per meter and Newton meter square and so on and so forth, remembering the units might come in handy. All right, so right now x multiplied by x gives you x square. X plus x gives only 2x. So you understand the difference. This is perimeter and this is area. So whenever you write area is always written in square. Meter multiplied by meter is meter square. 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. I hope the concept of area of rectangle and the area of square is clear. All right. In the next video, we are now going to solve the questions from the textbook.